Good morning, students. Welcome to another section of computer network. On the previous classes, we learned about different type of communication modes, communication types, like what is computer network, how the communication can possible. There are different types of, you can say the transmission, data transmission modes, so and so. Current section is all about the types of computer network or the network types. So, as you know that a network is widely implemented for communication or sharing of data or information from one end to another end. So basically, data transfer can take place between two subsequent devices which are directly connected by some form of communication mediums. So generally, by the help of certain guided media and as well as unguided media, the two subsequent systems, that is source and destination computer or two digital devices, are interconnected for transferring of data from one end to another end. But basically, in a practical manner or practical mode, the two devices normally directly connected point to point. So it is the devices which is related or which is directly connected is never possible in some cases. So sometimes a system which is directly connected by using cable or without cable is quite impractical. So the following regions are normally the devices are basically situated at remote places because in certain network it is not possible to communicate or to sharing its resources from one system to another system in a single room or in a single location. So there is a set of devices, each of whom may require connecting to other at various times. So right now we are in a mode of like communication through which my system is one location in a location, or it is one location, and your system is another location that is remotely handled. So for solution this type of particularly problems, to connect each devices to a communication network, computer network or communication networks are widely implemented. So as you know that computer network means interconnected set of autonomous systems that permit distributed processing of information. So every individual systems which are directly or indirectly connected to a network, or that is normally called a communication network, is basically called an autonomous system, that is individual or distant systems. In order to meet these needs of various applications, networks are available with different interconnection layouts and plans, that is you can say the topology related things or topological structure, methods of access, how the particularly data can be communicated in a subsequence particularly method. In a previous class we learned about parallel and as well as serial data transmission methods, and there are certain protocols also there, and there are certain data carrying like capacities or capabilities are there. So generally computer network, as you know that it is basically called interconnected set of autonomous systems or individual systems which are directly or indirectly connected by using certain guided and unguided media. So network can be classified on the basis of geographical area, because according to the requirement of an organization or of an institute or of a particular company, we require different types of networks. which can be communicate with each other. So generally, a computer network is a group of computers linked to each other that enables the computer to communicate with other computer, that is another computer, to share their resources, data, and as well as its applications. So basically, a computer network is nothing. It is a group of particularly computers which are linked with each other in a similar location or in a dissimilar location. So, according to the requirement or according to the geographical or geographical coverage of the subsequent particular thing, it is broadly classified into three types. First, LAN, that is local area network. Second, MAN, that is metropolitan area network. And third is basically called wide area network, or that is normally known as WAN. So, as I say, according to the requirement of the subsequent organization or subsequent particularly you can say company, it must require its own set of computers which are directly or indirectly connecting with each other. So in this particularly classification of network, there are three particularly classified, broadly classified, that is LAN, MAN, and as well as WAN. Just brief idea I just given to you. Local area network is nothing. It is normally a limited particularly geographical area or limited particularly location where we can establish our computer networks. So it is a small network, as you say. And the second type is basically called the metropolitan area network. It is basically related or basically like developed in a big city, or you can say small city or two small cities in between that. And wide area network is nothing. It is world's biggest and largest network, which is completely, or the best example of the wide area network is nothing, that is called internet. So let's begin with the local area network. So the local area network is nothing. It is a collection of devices connected together in a physical location, such as building, office, or home. So generally, more than one systems are interconnected with each other to sharing its resources. Either it may be done in the form of software or hardware within a premises, that is inside a building or office, or you can say set up at home, are related with local area network. It is a small or large, ranging from home network with one user to an enterprise network with thousands of users and devices in an office or school. So it depends upon, as I say, it depends upon the number of systems which are interconnected with each other. So in a home network, there are few systems are interconnected with each other through which we can actually communicate our or sending our data information, and some enterprises network also there, which is normally related with like office organizations or schools, etc., colleges, etc., where thousands number of computers or thousand numbers of users and as well as devices are interconnected. So basically, LAN is single defined characteristic is that is connect devices that are in a single limited area. So the measure particularly like you can say the development part of the like local area network is a limited area because it is maximum up to few kilometer or less than particularly like a few kilometer, maybe it is near about 1 kilometer or more than that. So basically LAN is consisting of cables, like you know that is the guided media like coaxial cable, optical fiber cable, and as well as like twisted pair cables, etc. Certain access points are there, like access points like switches, routers, and other components that enable device to connect to its internal servers or web servers and other LANs via wide area networks. So generally, a network is consisting of several computers interrelated with that, along with certain particularly hardware equipments are there. There are certain switches, routers, or so and so thing that is called the network access devices widely implemented with that. Either it may be connected with its local server that is which is located inside the premises, that is you can say inside the building or inside the college or inside the school, or it may be connecting with the web servers, that is World Wide Web servers, which is related to the internet through particularly certain local area network connections. Simple take example, a particularly office having multiple departments, like our college having multiple departments such as accounting, IT, support and administrator and so and so. Each department having its own computer system through which they can store and as well as they can retrieve its particularly departmental data. So each department's computer could be logically connected to the same switch but segmented to behave as if they are separate. So every individual particularly departmental's data normally located inside a centralized location, that is you can say the server point or the remote location or remote particularly machine, through which we can actually share every individual department's data to other department according to the requirement. So generally there are certain switches, that is called the network access devices, which are widely implemented for establishing the connection between more than particularly one departments. So they are in a combined mode but act as a separate particularly like separate particular mode. In general, there are basically two types of LANs. So you can say LAN is broadly classified into two types, that is client server LAN and next one is called P2P LAN. So on the previous sections, we learn about the topological structure. There are different type of topologies. There are network topologies there, like ring, bus, star, like you can say multi-access point, so and so thing, or you can say hybrid networks or tree structure networks. So particularly this type of networks are there. So local area network is broadly classified into two types. One thing is called client and server, and another is called P2P. And as you know that client and server architecture is nothing one master computer which are normally connected with certain particular local systems. So every individual local systems are treated as client, and all the client systems or the local systems are directly or physically connected with their particularly remote system, or you can say the master computer, that is normally called server. So generally a client is particularly the request sender and server is called the response generator. So next one is called the P2P. P2P is nothing, it is one point-to-point network. So one system can be directly connecting with the other network. So basically a client server LAN consisting of several devices, that is called clients, and connected to a central server. And the server manages the files, particularly storage, application access, device access, and as well as the network traffics. So basically, take a simple example of star topology. A star topology having a centralized node that is normally called the master node also. Every individual nodes, that is client nodes, data can be sharing or data can be passing from passing in the network can be completely controlled by the master computer, which is called the centralized computer also. So every individual particularly server or the local particularly area network LAN server are normally managed files and as well as of storage, or you can say application access, the retrieval concept, and as well as device access like printers and scanners, so and so thing, and as well as the networking graphics. So that particular system is related with the centralized system through which all the other particularly devices or the client systems can retrieve or can access its data. A client can be any connected device that runs to access the applications or the internet. The client connect to the server either with cables or through wireless connections. So every individual particularly client can be directly or indirectly. Directly means by the help of guided media, that is called cable, and by indirectly, that is called the Wi-Fi connection or wireless connection, through which they can actually retrieve and as well as they can sharing its particularly data. On the other side, basically the particularly second type, that particularly suits applications can be kept in the LAN server. So user can access its own databases from the particular server. It can also sending or receiving emails and as well as setting of documents, by using printers, they can print particularly certain hard copy documents and other services through applications running on the LAN server. So the LAN server is nothing. It is called the centralized server or centralized particularly node, which can control the entire networking system or the entire LAN system in the client server architecture. So these particularly like computers widely implement in like large particularly businesses, government organizations, research work and educations like educational networks are basically for this category. So this is basically a private network or private particularly communication like network through which we can share our data in a particularly organizational way. And the second one is basically called the P2P LAN. So as you know that the P2P is nothing, it is point to point or one to one. It does not have any settled server or settled node and cannot handle heavy workloads like client server architecture or the client server LAN. And they can typically smaller than the previous one, that is called the client server LAN. So this is basically simple example of, you can say, the ring topology. In a ring topology, more than one systems are interrelated by directly or without any centralized point or without any control point. So the data particularly may not store in a subsequent location, that is, you can say, in the centralized location. Every individual node having its own data and own file structure, and as well as they can share its particularly like files or any other resources by using cables to one system to another system. And this type of LAN where each device is shared equally in the functioning of the network. So basically every individual particularly computer or node or devices are directly connected with the or normally to create establishment of the P2P LAN is normally sharing the equal priority, and the devices share resources and data through wire or wireless connection to switch or routers. It is also because fall in the category of local area network, it also particularly doing the same thing as like with using cable or without using cable. So the most of particularly home networks are fall in this category. The next particularly, like you can say, the local network, just little bit a basic idea. The local area network is a private network that connects computer and devices within a limited particular area like residence, office, buildings and campus also. So basically a particularly LAN maybe actually create by the help of personal computers in a few particularly kilometer radius, or in the geographical area is called the maximum the few kilometers. And some of the features of the local area networks are, first of all, it is limited in size, or the network size is limited to a small geographical area presently like to few kilometers. So basically the previous LANs are maximum 800 to 900 meter or maximum 1 kilometer of its particular geographical area. Currently, we are normally some few kilometers, normally within few kilometers, we can create our own particularly personal network, or you can say the private network, that is called local area network. And basically, the data transfer rate is high as compared to the other network, that is MAN and as well as WAN, that is wide area network and metropolitan area network, because there are few systems or there are some limited systems are which are normally directly connected with that. They range from 100 Mbps, that is megabits per second, to 1000 megabits per second. So basically the data transfer rate between like one computer to another computer in a particular client server LAN or in a particular P2P LAN is very high. In general, a LAN uses only one type of transmission media, commonly category of 5 coaxial cables. So initially the most widely medium which is normally create or which are normally like established connection or as a medium in between more than one nodes are basically called coaxial cables. But current days we are widely implement with like twisted pair cables, optical fiber cables, and so on so thing. The next one is a LAN is distinguished from other network by their topologies, because the common topologies are widely implemented in the local area network. It's called bus topology, ring topology, mesh topology, and as well as star topology. So there are variety of topologies there, like most of topologies, like the basic topologies like bus, ring, mesh, and star, widely implemented with this particularly network. The number of computers connected to the LAN is usually restricted. It means the few amount of, or the few particularly like computers or computer terminals can be widely used in particularly this category of network, that is called local area network. So basically the number of computers connected to a LAN is usually restricted. So limited number of particular computers are interrelated with each other in this particular network. So the most particularly networks are using the Ethernet. As I said earlier, in the network access device, it is a particularly like NIC, that is network interface card. This is basically or widely implemented with that. They used wired medium in conjecture with a particular switch or hop. So widely implement like networking devices or networking access devices is related with the like switch and as well as hop. Originally, coaxial cables were used for communication. Ethernet's like speed has increased from 2.9 Mbps to 400 Gbps. So right now, currently, the maximum particularly the particularly speed of or the particularly the networking rate of a particular like local area network is 2.9 Mbps to 400 gigabits per second. And this is the basic diagram, or you can say the structure of a local area network, where one workstation is there, and normally workstation is there, and these are the separate particularly different systems there, and this is called the file server and printer. These are the devices. This is the basic standard diagram of local area network.